Hi, welcome to Kaleidoscope, Episode 2, Part B. Part A was already pretty deep, and it ended on the words, I ran out of candles. These words hint at the deeper struggles of identity and the fear of facing something unknown. In Part B, we hear Raldia's prompt, and we place our hearts on the table. Join us to see what happens. Welcome to Kaleidoscope.
That's my answer. I'm not going to elaborate. I'm joking. I mentioned the cave earlier and the cave in. I'm not sure when the cave in happened or which cave in it was. There were multiple over time. But the thing is, you don't know that you're in a cave. Or you know that you're in a cave, but you don't know that there's an outside. And you have unlimited candles. And as when the first cave-in happened, I was so scared of the shaft of sunlight that I just lit more candles. Enough candles to, just like what Raldia is kind of doing, to blind out the light. So many candles because I had unlimited. The thing, like in my little room where I had this shaft of light and all my candles, what you don't know is that the rest of your people around you, they all have doors in their rooms and they can go out. So anyway, for me, eventually I ran out of candles. Those candles were a myriad of things. Most of them linked to a masculine gender identity. And like going to an all-boys school, trying to marry early, thinking or insisting that I want kids and that I would be a good father, which I would have been, but I would have been an even better mother. And thinking that all of these things I had to do in order to maintain that. And eventually, I just ran out of steam. When you have no candles, you must go into the light. And that's what happened.
That's such a beautiful metaphor, Ruby.
It is. It is. I actually thought when you said I ran out of candles, was kind of like you ran out of patience, like for people too.
Nah, it's all internal. It was, I was sexually deviant. If people talk about body counts, mine is horrendous. And I lived through every experience that I had. It was my life was vicarious at best. Even with my wife now, she knows about this. I would be with her, and this is I don't like saying this because it's like a cliche, but it's also it's a true cliche. It just shouldn't be misconstrued as like being in the wrong body. But I fantasized as myself being a woman, like changing places, and that I thought that was normal for most of my life. That's why I was a candle. Like, it's just normal. It's normal for you to go out and think, oh, what a beautiful dress. I wish I could wear that. It sounds completely stupid now saying that, but that's how I felt. I would go on a date with someone with a beautiful dress, and I wanted to wear that dress for 35 years of my life. And now finally I'm wearing a dress.
Yeah.
But that makes so much sense now. I think when we are just within ourselves, because the only experience we know is our experience, then it's like, oh, this is normal. Probably everybody thinks this,
Yeah, exactly.
right? Like nobody thinks anything else. Yeah. Like, oh my gosh, look at that outfit.
It's the same. Like, surely people also think this.
Yeah. Yeah, there's this one movie that my friend shared with us in this other group chat, right? It's called But I'm a Cheerleader, I think it's called. Something like that. And it's about this girl who is in a very religious family, all American type of girl, cheerleader, has a boyfriend, had that boyfriend. He's a quarterback. The most cliche American things that you can think of. That's what she was. And then, but I guess she is discovering that she likes girls, right?
Yeah.
So her family, being a very, Christian family, send her to a camp. And she's having her first little group therapy. And she's like, but everybody thinks that. Everybody looks at girls and thinks, oh, look at her butt. It's so nice. But everybody, everybody thinks this. And that's what that reminded me. It's like, because we are all in our own brains and our own thoughts, we all think this is normal. Like, this is how everybody is. Everybody has these thoughts. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. And I think it comes because we want to hide ourselves so much and fit into those boxes, I guess, that we do that to ourselves versus trying to understand what Reality had said earlier, the root of the cause, right? What is the root? Where is this stemming from? Where is this coming from?
But knowing that it's coming from somewhere, that's the first step. Like understanding.
Oh yeah, the awareness.
There is a root.
Yeah.
However dark it is, one of my favorite quotes right now is by Alexander Dumas from The Count of Monte Cristo. There's no such thing as happiness in the world, only the comparison of one state with another. You must have felt what it is to die, to be able to experience supreme happiness. So,
yeah, we must know the lowest and be able to appreciate anything.
Yeah, the joy that I feel now when I wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh, it's another day. And I go, whoa, I'm a girl. It's worth it.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Like the pure shock.
Yeah, exactly.
It just showcases that nothing should really be taken for granted too, though. Like, you have worked so hard for this that every day you should feel that level of appreciation. Every little barrier, like you were talking about the doctor, right? Every little thing like that should be celebrated because it's amazing. All of it is. And I know I sound very uppity and positive and all this, but trust me, I have been in the darkest points of where anybody can be. And because I've been there is why I can appreciate the sunlight on my face.
Yeah. And you just have to keep doing that.
Mm-hmm. Every day. It's a reminder. Every day. You have to remind yourself every day.
I think it's a choice,
Mm-hmm.
And some people think that it's just like a state. I don't think it's not a state, it's a choice in the end of the day.
It is.
Because if you acknowledge that there are low points and high points in your life, right? But they're not states. They're constantly transforming. They're go up and down, up and down, up and down, and it is a choice whether you want to go through the down, right, very smoothly, And it applies as well for the up, because even for the ups, too much of a good thing can be a bad thing, you know?
That's true. But I want to
And-
say, when I was talking earlier, it sounded like maybe I regret my past. I don't. I don't think that that anything that I did was done in a negative light or caused harm,
Yeah.
like overtly, and anything other than incidental hurt to anyone, including myself. Right. So, and
Yeah.
everything was benign and joyful. Like, I did not have a bad life. I know now that I was depressed, but it manifested in ways that were mostly positive.
Yeah. You know, I would love to live in a world where people get to do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah.
If men wake up one day and they want to go buy that pretty dress and wear it, go ahead. Go ahead, do whatever. Express yourself.
Yeah.
Express yourself. Know yourself. Like in at every stage of your life. Know
So it's
their idea of background.
It is how we express ourselves.
Exactly. Like, don't
yeah.
do that. If women one day want to dress like a man, I don't know, want to do whatever they thought they could not do because they're just women, right?
Yeah.
Do that. Do that. And I would love for it to be normal, right? Because it's not affecting anybody. Like, whoever takes offense with that is just like, they just want to say something. They just want to put their opinion on it. And this definitely needs their opinion, you know?
No, it does not.
Of course.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
No, you wanted to say something because I'm about to move on to the next two.
No, I was just gonna agree. I was gonna say, wouldn't that be a lovely world?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we dream
Down
enough
with the
about it,
matriarchy, up with the matriarchy, because that's the world we want to live.
Yep. Yes, 100%.
I would not go the other, like, to the other extreme, to be honest. I just like, you know, maybe in the middle, you know? It's just like everybody in the middle happy. I think there are also a lot of issues, you know, with how women think and how women present themselves and stuff like that. I don't feel on the other side is that good.
Look,
I think there's a lot of work that needs to be
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
Fanaticism, or I've said it a few times in our chat, purists are the downfall of creative
Exactly.
expression.
Exactly. Yeah.
You need to accept the mix.
Yep.
Difference. Otherwise, life is doomed. Raldia, prompt us.
Yeah, I'm gonna read this because I wrote it down and I had like. So, I'm sorry. I'm gonna.
I'm down. I'm down half a bottle as well.
Yeah. It's a good conversation. I'm loving it so far. So.
Yes.
Okay, so my text is, growing up, my environment lacked consistency emotionally, in daily activities, and in routines. The few things I tried to be consistent in were either dismissed as pointless or met with criticism, which created a deep anxiety around consistency itself. As an adult, this anxiety has made me adaptable and open to new experiences, but it has also made commitment and routine feel suffocating, like a chore. Yet, I've come to realize that consistency and structure can provide peace of mind. Now, I want to explore how I can reshape my emotional response to consistency so it feels like a source of stability rather than restriction. Yeah, that is what I wanted to express today in this podcast, because I think that it's the biggest thing that I'm dealing with right now. I'm at a point in my life where I would love to be able to have consistency in my practices, in my hobbies, in my whatever it is. So this spreads, it's like a web that is just like everywhere in my life, this issue with consistency.
So, out of consistency, besides the fact that you feel suffocated by it, right? What other emotions does it bring it up besides that? Have you dived
Yeah.
deeper into it?
Yeah, I was expecting that follow-up question. So as you know, as I've shared here, in my childhood, I did not feel safe to express my emotions. So there's a lot of frustration that I might not be good enough. You know, just like I've said, like it was whatever I was taking interest in as a child, most likely like children's stuff, like play or whatever, right? But as I was as I was paying more attention to it, right, and not to whatever my parents were saying or forcing me to do, it was just like, why are you doing this? This is so stupid. Like, you're wasting your time. You should be studying this or doing that or whatever, right? So whatever I was trying to do, it was not good enough. And even the things that I was like, okay, it's not my interest, but I still want to be good at this, whatever it is that you want me to do. No, it's not good enough. You're never gonna achieve anything in this life. So a lot of it has also to do with that frustration and that fear that even if I start something, I won't be able to finish it. I won't be good enough compared to other people. You know, so it will have no value. So yeah, it's frustration, it's fear, it's shame. Even though nothing exactly happens, like I can just like quit, right? If I want to start running, I start running. I discover I'm bad at it. Obviously, I'm bad at it. Never been a runner, right? But it will bring up so many emotions that are obviously not necessary for that situation, you know? But it's linked to that. It's linked to whatever new I'm trying to do, right? I can do it for some time. It's interesting for me, right? So that lack of consistency helped me start new things. But it is an obstacle when I try to maintain it.
Okay. So it's not necessarily, I think, just consistency. Have you ever experienced issues with like commitment or committing to something? I think that's kind of where it goes into it too. It's like,
Yeah.
you can start the practice, like you mentioned. You could start running, right? You could like it. You could go through it. That is consistency in itself, but it's the long term, the distance.
Yeah.
That I think that really brings that fear. And it's probably going back to what you mentioned. You didn't have that safe space to let your emotions come out and to really express or try new things. And I can relate to that 100% because I was told to be quiet. I was told to be a little muñeca, a little doll.
Yeah.
I wonder though, do you think that maybe because, okay, so my question was, and it's related to this, how were you mocked for trying to create consistency when you were a girl?
It was the lack of patience and understanding to whatever I took interest in, and it usually came from my parents, because whatever I took interest in, they would not. They're not interested. I get that. You don't have to be interested in it, but at least like support me if you feel like I have an interest in something. And there was a lot of like, no matter how hard you're gonna try, you're just not trying hard enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. You're never gonna achieve this. Like not believing I can do this, not believing this is something for me. Like, why would you take interest in this? It's stupid, right? So whatever I was doing, it was attaching to my excitement. It was attaching this like label of it's stupid. It's not worth it. So in the end, what I was understanding is that I'm not worthy to feel excited, to feel like creative, maybe. So yeah, this is how it happened. I think.
My question was like, do you think that? But you've already answered it. Maybe this idea that you're trying to create consistency, and then somebody goes, "Oh, you're not good at it because you want to do. You should be doing this, like another activity or something that I told you to do," and they kind of label that. So you never make it through the honeymoon phase of something that you want to do. So you don't become good at anything, and now you're stuck. You're stuck at the end of the honeymoon phase. When that fades, you want to change again.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
It has affected my entire life. It has helped me. And I drew benefits from it because I've seen that compared to other people, I'm way more flexible. I'm way more easy to take on new tasks, new experiences, and just like have the courage to, you know what? Let's try this. But when it comes to just like for the long run, I'm getting anxiety because I don't think I have what it takes to sustain it. Yeah, it's exactly how you described it. It's just like it's like a continuous honeymoon phase, and I know that is so delusional that I need to do something about it. Because it's only like that high interest, right? Dopamine, right? Raising that dopamine, like baseline, right? So when it passes the honeymoon phase, it just crash. It's just another thing I'm not good at.
Is it linked to competitiveness?
So,
oh, sorry, why? You go.
No.
It is. It was linked to competitiveness by my parents because it was like, that girl can do it. Why can't you? And it's this like in Romanian culture, it's this like we're not taught to work together. And in school, we don't make like teams for projects and stuff like that. It's always get the first one, be better than the first one. It's a continuous race. I was never interested in that race. I was never interested why that colleague was better at a subject. I felt like it was inspiring, right? But I never felt like competitive or anything. I was just like, that's interesting. But every day when I came home, it was like drilling and drilling and comparing and comparing. And that certainly did something to me because when I had that burnout we were talking about, that identity crisis when I turned 30, it all came back. Because when you lose everything and it's just like from scratch, you feel like you're rebuilding yourself from scratch. Like if you know like tarot, there's just like that tower movement, right? When everything comes crashing down and you need to rebuild. That is when I realized, okay, now I can choose who I want to be. So when I looked around, I was like, okay, who am I? What do I enjoy doing? What am I? And they all came back. Because I retreated into my like inner child, trying to discover it and figure out what emotions I had. And it all came together from the subconscious, everything. Because I didn't pay attention to it for the longest time. Or at least I thought. It's not there. I was ignoring my parents. I did not speak a lot to my parents. I was doing the contrary of whatever they were saying, right? But now, apparently, yeah, it was a programming. There was like very silent in the subconscious. And it came forward and like, remember this? Remember this girl from school? Like, she was better than you?
Yeah, I think we're all.
And one thing I want to share, one experience about this. So I was one day in the supermarket trying to buy bread. I was in the line trying to pay. Suddenly, out of nowhere, I get this panic attack, and I hear my father's voice, something that he told me when I was little. You will never amount to anything in this life. There will never be a place for you, even in the market, to sell vegetables or whatever. And I heard it very clearly, and I started shivering, like, and I realized, some part of me realized that this is so stupid. I'm holding a bread. I'm not in trouble. I'm not in any danger, right? Like, why am I like panicking? And I've learned from therapy how to calm down and really listen. So when I was able to calm down and listen, I realized that the words were actually spoken in my voice, not my dad's. And I think that I held him in my mind. I held those words with his voice in my mind for so long. I had to call him when I got home, and I said, I am sorry. That probably I was so resentful, and I just remembered like your voice. Maybe you were tired from work. Maybe you didn't have like, I was obviously not an easy child to deal with, right? You just said something when you were angry, but my mind thought, this sounds cool. Maybe we can use this every time we want to keep her safe. This is like the perfect line we can tell her to prevent her to do anything that is dangerous or we perceive as dangerous. Yeah.
I feel like you should have
So that was
apologized
like
to yourself, not your dad.
yeah. I got to apologize also to myself for all the self-development work that I did. But that was like that moment when I first heard my dad's voice, and then when I calmed down, it was actually my voice. That was shocking. That was actually shocking. Like, it is true what they say. Like, you're your worst enemy.
Mhm.
It's crazy.
It is. It is. We put ourselves down more than any other person could ever. And we don't even realize, because until we do that self-work, right, we think it's external. We think it's other people,
Yeah.
like you were mentioning. Because I actually did hear a line like that from my mom when I was young. But instead of taking it as, my brain didn't take it as this is how we're going to keep her safe from dangerous things. It was, this is how I am going to make her push forward. So my brain did the opposite. So every time that I need a little push, a little fire under me to advance in some way or other, that line replays. That moment replays in my head. And it's like, nope, you got to show her.
You see, that's what I'm lacking. Like, I'm not competitive. And Ruby's question was so good. I'm not competitive.
Yeah.
For me, if you say something like that, it's just like, whoa.
Yeah. I mean,
It does not put that fire under my ass, and just make me, I need to show them. Like,
yeah. No, for me, it does that because Are you the oldest?
I'm the only child.
You're the only child.
I got the whole material.
There you go. So that may be it. I'm the second daughter, the youngest daughter, the second daughter. I have an older sister, and my sister is 6 years older, right? Or 5 years older. So anything she did wrong, I got blamed. I was punished. Not her, me.
Yeah.
Because somehow the younger sister was supposed to keep the older sister in line. I don't know. But it was a situation where it was always being compared to my sister.
Yeah.
So in my brain, since I was little, was you have to do things different than her. You have to be different. You have to do more. You cannot do what she does. You cannot live life like she does. So I was ingrained with such a competitive little gene or a little thing there that you saw me yesterday.
Yeah.
You saw it yesterday. A little bit of it. I was like, no, I'm going to be number one on Eileen's thing today because I could afford it yesterday. I won't do that again.
Yeah.
Don't worry. It's not a...
I was impressed. I was like, damn, she might be
Yeah.
right.
Sure, that's rich.
No, it was payday. I could afford it. So
I wanted to ask you if it's payday or...
All right, next second of the month, second Friday of the month.
yeah. No, it's like for now, Eileen's gonna be thrilled when she sees that because but he was doing it on purpose too. Like the competitive thing. So I was like, okay, let me show you real quick how fast I can. And I had just recharged, by the way. So she just got all my money in like one day. What?
How much? She didn't say anything. No, I was expecting her to write in the chat, but she didn't say anything.
I don't think she's checked.
I don't
think either.
Are the coins more expensive? How much do you pay? I used to think they were way cheaper because I had somehow earned a whole bunch of coins from someone. And I'm sorry, this is way off topic. I don't know how this happened.
We're fine.
Are we having a little break?
I guess, kind of.
It's the hormones, I'm telling you.
Is that what it is? Oh. Like, you're over here. Okay. I guess we should really...
What? What are the hormones?
It's driving them wild, going through puberty.
Okay, yeah. Now
and just like they feel like attacking.
As a person who is currently going through second puberty, I can tell you that this is a thing.
Yeah.
But you see that you're not like pouncing. We're talking about these little baby cubs pouncing.
I have life experience.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
It's different.
If you rolled me back 20 years, I would be unstoppable. Yeah, I would be unstoppable.
Because Dalia now is like, I flirt. Okay, I flirt. I do that, and we share with each other different types of stuff.
Yeah.
But these kids put me to shame, and I was like, and I've lived life. I know how to do things that you could never dream about doing. Yet, right? Yet, yeah, but it's like, how are you publicly in a public forum? The internet is forever, and you are seeing these things.
Yeah, I think live chat rooms are not as forever as other parts of the internet.
They are forever because people are recording them.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
I've seen it. Some of my buddies were recorded in a chat room and posted by another user. Like,
yeah,
there's people out there that are they just lurk, taking recordings and posting it.
Snoring video.
Look, Ruby. I don't even know how I got on there. Someday you miss it.
I have Maya's secret ASMR snoring video.
Yeah.
I never felt like I never fell asleep except for Ruby, you talking to Josh. Like, oh my god, that does
I am
some
sorry.
stuff to my
I'm
brain.
sorry that I have a
No,
silky
you shouldn't be
voice.
sorry. No, you shouldn't be sorry. I was on mute. I was like ready for it. Yeah, keep going, keep going, keep talking.
Josh.
And I was just like,
I feel,
Josh's voice is nice too, though. So yeah,
yeah,
I
it's a
can
double
see
whammy.
that.
I feel bad because when I start speaking for any length of time, people just drop off the room.
I don't. I stayed.
Yeah,
I'm just
I know,
there.
but you're special, both of you. But like
I love-
strangers.
like the first time I heard you speak, I don't think it was in Eileen's. I think it was in another chat, and I'm like,
Really?
oh my god! And then I heard you in Eileen's, and I got to exchange some. Yes, and we spoke a bit, and I was like, oh my god, yeah, I want to listen to this like forever. Like it was just like so calming, you know, and even because you don't even like you don't speed it up. It's just like it's very
Just consistent.
Yeah, it's good.
Consistent.
It's a very nice cadence.
Ah,
It has a very nice. It's very melodic for sure. Yes.
thank you.
exactly.
Yeah, well, it took me a long time to practice this voice, actually. I've spoken once or twice in my unpracticed voice.
Yeah, you did it once. I was there, but I wasn't paying it. I was doing something else.
Okay.
I wasn't paying.
Do you want to hear it?
I'm curious.
I've never heard one.
I'm curious.
Okay. I will drop it down for you into my normal teacher's voice because I have to be a teacher at school and I'm not allowed to be feminine. So this is my voice. This is the voice that I originally spoke with, but I much prefer this voice.
It's,
That's how it goes.
I don't know, for me, it's just not that different.
Yeah, it's not that different. So a lot of people think that it's done with your like vocal cords, but it's done by raising the larynx over time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I can go much deeper like this.
Yeah.
But what I'm actually doing is I'm just changing the size of my voice box.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely.
What happens when you go through puberty with testosterone, some of your vocal cords crack. And that can't be undone. But not all of them crack. The ones that are higher up stay.
Yeah.
So if my voice had never broken, this is the voice I would have had.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Maybe
But I'm curious about something. Does taking medicine, right? Going through hormone therapy.
Yeah.
Does that change your voice as well?
Not estrogen, but testosterone. So if you're a trans man, so born female, taking testosterone your vocal cords will crack. And once they crack, it can't be undone. There are actually most of hormone therapy is reversible. Like if I were to stop now, the physical changes they're quite minimal still. As time goes by, the things that are not reversible for trans men would be starting to grow a beard. Like your follicles won't switch off. You'll have to do like full hair.
Yeah.
And I've never had a beard. Like I've never had body hair because anyway, that's a story for another time. And then for a trans woman, the thing that you cannot undo, there are two things. The first one is breast growth.
Yeah.
And the second one is after about 6 months, there could be potentially permanent damage to male fertility. That bothers me.
Yeah.
Cat.
It's I think it's odd. I was listening to your podcast, right? the first episode, we were talking with the guys about this, and I remember one of the guys said like about identifying as a woman, like who would actively choose that? Like it's not actually a choice, like because it's like looking at how society treats this. That's hard.
Yeah,
That's
you don't do
really,
this for
really
fun.
hard.
You do this because
Exactly.
this is for my mental health. If I
Yeah.
don't do that, if I have to go back now, I'm gonna start. I have suicidal ideation just thinking about it. I can't. There's no way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. I take issue with people that just like state their opinions, you know, but it's just like a principle maybe, or just like a concept. No, but you cannot talk about people's life like that.
Yeah.
You cannot just like just put it inside the box, right? That Nehemiah was talking about, and just like say, no, this is not normal, or this is like whatever, and because it's not affecting your life, bro.
Oh, and
It's not affecting you in any way.
to make it maybe more relatable, imagine walking up to the Pope and saying, "Christians don't exist. They never have." It's the same thing. It's
Yes,
I-
yeah. I don't understand these people, and there's always the argument, but what if my child, bro, your child goes to school and sees stuff and is still stupid. Like your kid seeing like trans women on the street is not gonna change him.
No.
Come on.
Again,
Come on.
like it's not something that anybody chooses to do, and I don't want you to be trans. I don't want other kids or people or anyone to be. This is a shit show. This is
Yeah.
It's a disaster.
Like inviting this, like who wants to invite this? Like even what you said, right? Because even with some doctors, you might feel that, like why are you doing this, right? And having to deal with all that, like
And then there's the other
go
thing,
searching for this.
male
Go search.
privilege. I'm actively giving. I'm lucky. Okay, I think you can affirm this, but I went through my early adulthood up to middle adult as a fairly handsome man, and I was lucky. And now I'm gonna get to do it again as a fairly pretty woman. I'm getting pretty privilege on both ends, but I'm giving up male privilege, and that is a real thing. If anybody
Yeah.
has ever like from the moment that I have told some of my male acquaintances and friends that I am trans, and if they have been able to see me as a woman, their treatment has taken a 180. And now I'm sitting at a bar trying to interject my thoughts or conversations, and suddenly that doesn't matter anymore because you're a girl. Okay. Fuck you. Fuck
That
you
is one
too.
of the questions. Like, yeah, that was one of those questions that I had. Like, how do you feel about it now?
I'm still she her all the way. Like
Yeah.
that's me.
Yeah.
But honestly, fuck you.
Yeah. Welcome to womanhood.
Oh yeah, the whole calladita te miras más bonita.
Yes, that.
Quiet little pretty doll.
Yeah.
I think that is going to be the title of this episode.
Yeah. You're now privy to like some real shit.
Oh, so all the fun,
Yeah.
Yeah.
all the fun.
I
But you know,
There's one thing like I was saying, like I love to be all the women of my imagination, and reinventing myself. And I think this is one of the things that I love about being a woman, the fact that I can just being a woman in this society, let's say, because I can just like be creative with my style and paint my nails certain colors and use makeup and use, anything. And I love all of these versions, right? And I am happy for you to be able to do that. That is one thing I love about being a woman. And I feel like it's like, I bet it's so exciting.
It is so exciting. You have no idea.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad if you get to experience that finally.
Hi again. Thank you so much for watching to the end. I am really sorry about the audio quality of this episode. I will remember to project my voice properly next time so that I don't have to over process it like today. I cannot tell you how long I sat here thinking about where this episode should end and what should be left in and what was just too personal to keep. But I think this is a good spot. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe, leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time.